Yeah, which is actually, it's Patrick Mahomes and. Did you? Patrick Mahomes and Christian McCaffrey.
Jesus.
I don't know.
Wow.
So everyone decided to chip in $10 to,
Yeah, sure.
just to play it out. Of course, like I did.
Exactly.
That's so very nice. He said he can't handle all the or another fantasy
Or
ever.
Hackman, or not Hackman, Holmstrom, Hailstorm.
I think we got, yeah,
I texted him today wondering what was going on.
well, that Gimple guy who does a Survivor league thing, you know, for $20, they can pick a team each week. No need to, he's not even doing that.
What? You've got him that for many, many years.
I know.
We lost like 7 guys dropped out of fantasy already.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Get COVID. All right. Larry, we're starting. Oh, I even need that. We'll call this meeting to order. Tuesday, September 8th, 2020 council meeting. Everyone have a chance to look at the minutes from the last meeting?
I didn't put them in there. Oh my gosh. I did the agenda and the, sorry about that, guys.
Did you email it
Can I email it to you?
or print it quick?
Yep.
I don't know.
Okay.
And isn't this the meeting we have to do something about the taxes too?
I thought we were supposed to have a
Oh,
special.
That's what you mean.
Special.
Special meetings first?
That has to go first.
Right.
August 20.
So I guess I'll call our, you've got a little time. I'm gonna call our special tax meeting to order. Do you have any of those sheets from last week from Harold?
No, but I thought we were just doing this in case we wanted to raise the taxes.
Yeah, so if we stick with our current mills and we'll lose a little bit in taxes, not much. And, or if we voted to stay with the mills and keep the taxes the same, or then we could raise the mills, which I'm not in favor of raising the mills. So it would be whether or not we stick with the mills and we'll get a little less in tax, or
And it was like not much at all.
Not
wasn't
much.
It It was
I don't
maybe a couple thousand, I wanna say.
I don't think it's that much.
Wasn't even, yeah,
No.
it was not much. I just thought maybe we'd have some residents here to say no or yay, but I haven't heard much.
I haven't
It's
either.
around the city myself, but.
So we just wanna vote to stick with what we have?
I think that's kind of what we got working the last time this week.
I think so.
Okay. Alright, so we're not making any changes to the taxes. So I guess taxes will actually go down a little bit for the citizens of Gackle. So I guess, or I guess we should probably have a motion to keep it the same.
So I'm clear though, he did say if we didn't raise it this year, it's not like we lose the opportunity next year.
No, we have this opportunity every year.
Every year.
Okay, just wanted to, okay.
So I'll take a motion. You got that, Sherry?
Yep.
Okay, we're making a motion to keep the taxes, or the mills the same. Can we second? Jeff, aye, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Then I'll take a motion,
Did Andrew do first?
Bubba.
Bubba.
I did.
Then I'll take a motion to adjourn our special meeting.
I will move to adjourn this special meeting.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Alright, now we'll call to order the Tuesday, September 8th, 2020 meeting, City Council Gackle. Any luck on the minutes? We would like to review them before we approve them.
Shucks, printers on flying.
Kind of nice to get like the shit on an email
Mm-hmm.
the week of the meeting.
Yeah. That's what I think that's what we're gonna go back to.
What we used to do.
That's what we used to do.
Put maybe pin the pen
Oh,
down,
yeah,
so-
Tom, I'll grab it.
You're going.
Oh, okay. I'll just throw this in there. Okay.
Are you getting the Gackle lamp?
It's called.
It's the Gackle lamp, what else the other day?
The plantar fasciitis.
Oh,
The fasciitis lamp.
I know. You worry
You
about
know
the
what you guys, I
price.
think, is that the,
oh, that's this page too.
hold on, I think I gave you guys all this,
No, that's.
paper.
Yeah, more.
Do you need one more?
Well, I'll just, I'm the first page.
Sweet.
I need to go to.
Okay, and that thing is like antique.
But does that say July or August, so you guys?
Okay,
It does say July.
What's that second piece there?
These sides are the elevator, it's, they're cheap. They come on,
That's the other church.
fax it on, fax it on. That's it.
Alright, yes.
So the only correction I can see.
No.
Oh,
I print out my July. That's August.
Thank you.
Nope, that's it.
So do you, we need to correct the president, vice president here? Or just make a motion later on for new business?
Probably in the business.
With that?
it won't really apply to this meeting.
I just,
Yeah.
because I thought maybe we should have done it then to make the correction before that or not.
That should be fine.
Okay, I wasn't clear on that.
Alright, that was good to me.
I move to approve. I'll second.
Taylor moves approved, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Alright, so. The agenda looks good, the only thing. Is the bill the bill for Billy Hofer.
It's right on, oh, Bill Hofer's under mine,
Oh, is it? Okay.
yeah.
I thought I seen it under old business.
Okay, yeah, I did. It was in the minutes anyway, as long as there's anything else. Alright, so, if that's under that section, I'll take a motion to approve the agenda.
We got
So moved.
chicken thing on it?
I'll second.
You need to add something?
Was the chicken thing on it? Do we have to revisit that or is that?
David Black.
Oh, that's,
new
that,
business.
that's,
He's on the bottom.
he's in the bottom, the rooster's high resin.
Oh, I got it. Good.
So who motion to approve the agenda? Jeff Hyder?
Drew did, then Jeff.
I second.
Alright, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Alright, this time we'd like to recognize our visitor, Greg Ells. Mr. Ells, how can we help you today?
Good evening, Councilman Mayor. I am coming with a concern with a customer of mine and a friend that's a homeowner in town here. And his name is Justin Malika. He owns the old house that was Richie Jacobson's that Richie originally lived in.
Okay?
And what happened to that house is if you remember last fall, August, September, we had 4.5 or 5 inches of rain, 50-mile-an-hour wind. What that did was drove all the wind-driven rain underneath that metal roof. And it soaked into the walls, it soaked into the attic, and that house is shot. It either gutted or torn down. Bill was in it today, and he can see that it's either a gut or a
Yeah,
tear,
it would have to be totally gutted
totally gutted or a tear down.
or down.
And that was a great little hunting house for years, but it took me a long time to figure out what happened, but it was that rain that devastated crops and it soaked that house out so bad that he doesn't know what to do with it. And he's a very nice young man. He doesn't want to walk away from it and dump it on the city. He was out earlier this year. He's going to come out this fall again and try and decide what to do with it. He'd like to tear it down and put in a metal building with bunk rooms and so on, if he can afford it and if finances or whatever. That wouldn't happen for a year or two. You know, I mean, he's gonna have to spend $5,000 to tear it down and $40,000 to put something up, you know. And he may be willing to do that. I believe he is. He's a guy of character. He doesn't want to leave it behind. The reason I come before you is to ask the city, and I don't know what policy is, but if they could put a moratorium on his sewer and water and so on until he rebuilds. If he's not using it, he's not using the services. You know, it'll take him 2 years to do that, and that's another $2,000-3,000 just in sewer, water, and garbage.
Right, but
It's just a wormhole, because there's a lot of people that live in this town that have houses that they don't
Right.
use 9 months out of the year, that still have to pay the service.
I understand that.
there's some sewer infrastructure that's in place that he participated in,
That would hook up to if.
that we're trying to pay for infrastructure
understand.
that was done 10 years ago on that, included in the bill.
That I do understand. I'm just not sure what he's gonna do with it. I thought I'd ask if that was possible. I see why it's not. I mean,
I understand.
We would absolutely love to see him do something with it. I mean, we don't want to see more houses getting torn down, but it's just too big of a,
Turning into cat houses either, you know, so.
it opens up a can of worms. I
it
don't
really
see
does that I don't think we want to pursue down, to be honest with you,
Right.
I understand.
without being, you know, mean or rude about it, I guess.
Right,
Yeah.
particularly if he wants, you know, he's willing to do something with it, and that's the most frustrating thing for us.
Pardon?
He's willing to do something, you know, with the property once he takes it down. So that's what makes it really hard. Yeah,
It does.
a lot of people that don't.
Yeah, I understand that. Thought I'd try.
Sure.
If I was him, I'd walk away from it.
Well,
I would. I mean, put 40,000 into that, a new building, tear it down, I'd walk away and say adios, kid. I know it's a tough situation, you know, we all deal with it in this town. And things are changing, houses are selling, some are going up for sale. It's a real transition for you guys to handle.
Well, we hope he pursues it, and hopefully there's no hard feelings there, but
No.
I don't see any
understand.
other way of doing that as far as stopping it, cause,
Yeah. Where do you start, where do you stop?
yeah.
We appreciate you coming in though,
Okay,
Absolutely.
thanks, guys.
and you're more than welcome to stick around, or you can take off if you'd like, it's up to you.
I'm done.
Alright, report, city maintenance, what you got for us, Bill?
I have a few things for you.
Yeah.
David Black's meter
Uh-huh,
got checked out
okay,
here on the third page. You can see that it jumped tremendously to almost 1 million gallons, like in a day.
his meter went bad, so all of a sudden,
So I called the census company itself that, that sells them meters, and he said to send it in to Horn, Main and Fargo, and there's 59 pages of this. Every time that meter kicks in, it keeps track of how many gallons goes through per hour. So, which is nice. So he checked it out, and one of his other guys checked it out, and they both said the meter is shot.
okay,
So, which is, a good thing is that meter was still under warranty.
Okay.
So they will send me another one. So a new meter. And that's all I got for David's.
We figured out gallons and all that we're gonna be charging though, as
Well-
far as an average or something, is that correct?
We averaged out, cause he's one of the larger users of town too. So we went on the low end of it. It could go anywhere from 8 to 9,000. So we decided to take the low end and do 8, and that's what we'll charge him for the month, because he's usually he's usually over that.
Alright.
But we didn't have this here yet,
right.
but to try to figure out that is another zoo in itself.
So we kind of thought, just based on the fact that, I can see, like, you water his chickens and
Well,
he's got a
he was,
pool, and-
he had the chickens, then he had a big tank for a swimming pool, and he said once a week, that's 300 gallons he dumped, and there's sometimes twice a week. Then he said the kids would leave the hose on, so we're gonna leave him up at that, what he's, a little lower than what he's average had been, just in case there's, we are trying to help out there.
Cause it'd be hard to argue with a busted meter, so.
Well, yeah, and you said you checked when I talked to you,
Mhm.
all the usage, and it's not like the city went up.
Right,
We would,
No, the
yeah,
city's
so it's not like it's
anything near
anywhere
that.
close to,
And it takes a while, because I know I was getting ready to contact him with one for the bar, because that one was using water like crazy, but something flipped a switch on an ice machine, and it's running water like crazy.
Yeah, they
So
say
it's-
even like water softeners, when they regenerate, if that valve gets stuck open, they say they will dump a bunch of water.
That's what's happening up there right now. He's
And
got
then
parts.
same way with like some of these, like David's Black's house there, some of them older houses, in order to, when they grounded for the electrical, they just grounded right to the pipe coming out of the ground, copper pipe. They said that'll mess the meters up too.
hmm,
They said that little bit of current that's running through it will keep that meter moving. But I know there's no wire hooked up to it, 'cause Lauren and I talked about it that day, and they said, I went back down there and looked, and there's nothing, no wires hooked up to that pipe.
okay. Well, thanks for staying on top of that.
Yeah. And the lift stations out at Miller Honey, one of the pumps out there, replaced both of them. So they're both the original ones that were in there. And now I got the one that was working for a backup, in case one of these other ones go down. So it'd be nice to have a backup pump for out there. I mean, it's not a lot of residents, but it's kind of scary on one pump when you guys are extracting honey and stuff like that. So I just decided to go with both new pumps out there.
I would agree with that, absolutely.
And what about the Terry Griffith situation?
All the storm sewers.
Yeah,
It all depends what you guys want me to do with it. I mean, you want me to let him do what he wants to do there?
What's he want to do?
He wants to kind of fill in that hole with rock. So, I mean, it'll still drain, but.
he said right now it's a mud mess and his kids get into it.
Right.
Well, they really siphons down the hole, it's kind of a Safety hazard too, I mean, then that thing really gets to ripping in that little spot right
And
there.
he said when I talked to him over the weekend, he said that he'd be willing, he said, I'd just get the rock myself and not bother the city with it as long as we didn't have a problem with it. And he
Oh, that's
said the
good.
rock would obviously still let the water funnel through. So,
I just know restricting the flow over there.
Big rock.
I guess I've never seen it.
I just drove by it, it's actually a pretty big hole now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can obviously see that it's been slowly swirling.
Yeah, so
Is
yeah.
Is that the same thing that's going on at Brett Williams?
I haven't seen that.
That's, it hasn't gotten, you know, last year we talked about that where it kinda dipped in, it hasn't gotten any worse. So I would think if all the rain, you know, we've had for the last couple of years and the snow, I think they would've got a lot worse than what it is.
Okay.
But, I mean, the only thing we can do is, dig them up and put new storm sewers in. You know,
Now
that's,
we'll see what,
Yeah, I was gonna
we
say.
got a road project, we got a lot of things on hold for that, so.
Okay, so I'll call Terry and let him know that he can,
As long as it's not restricting anything,
Yeah.
we're good.
I mean, he was gonna just put a large enough rock in, I don't think it'll impact at all.
So, yeah.
Alright, I'll let him know that. Is that it for him?
And I've had a lot of people ask what we're supposed to start doing with our appliances. You know, Dean's not taking anything out here anymore. And I called West End in Jamestown, and they said they would take them, just that we would stockpile them out at the dump. And then once I get, you know, a dumpster full, I'd call them, they'd bring a dumpster, and then I'd fill it, and then they'd haul it away.
Would that be-
Then they would give us $50, or we give them $50, whatever the price would come out to be, the difference. I don't know what else we're gonna do with them. You know, if you guys wanna do that, if not, then.
It'll be up to each, I mean, it's either that or it's up to each citizen to get rid of their own, which,
Their own appliance.
Which are gonna end up out anywhere, all over the place.
And then everybody's roadside ditch.
yeah,
Right, see what it costs the city for a while, I mean, if it's
yeah,
minimal,
it was minimal,
Try it for a
Right.
while.
as
yeah.
long as it's not costing us too much, I
Yeah,
guess.
I don't think we'll need one this year, so I think there's a couple of things out there now, so.
Okay,
Doesn't take too many refrigerators to fill up a
well, it's true though,
dumpster.
we can handle
And
microwaves.
he said he can bring 2 down at one time if we need it, so he's
Okay.
got one that's on a trailer, I guess, or it's hooked up to a trailer.
Alright,
Alright,
I take a motion to, stockpile, take the city's appliances out to the dump and work with West End on recycling.
I'll move.
Jeff, second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Before I guess I move on, I see we do have another guest. Are you here just observing? Okay. I didn't want to ignore you if you had a topic. Jerry.
Okay, I have Bill Hofer's bill here.
Mm-hmm.
Should I send it off and pay for it?
Yeah, so talked with Lauren, and what ended up happening there was we had basically a gentleman's agreement. And the original thought was that we were gonna provide the gravel for the project. But Billy wasn't really able to get to the county gravel pit, so they had to drive to the Bonnet pit, which added a ton of miles, plus we had to pay for the product. So I don't think we really have any kind of leg to stand on, that we can do anything but pay the bill. But also going forward, we can't be burned like this again, so anytime we're gonna do any kind of contract work, we absolutely 100% need to have a written contract with details. So that, kinda like what, what Rick Nino did, so we don't end up. I mean, I don't know that it would've changed our thoughts on doing what we did, because those roads are so much nicer now than they were. But obviously the $18,000 in gravel and trucking costs is something that, unless, I don't judge this on city, I would like to stand on. But we just need to, we just need to do better at getting signed contracts in place so that it doesn't happen again.
I agree, and I also, the problem we have also is one, the FEMA money that gonna be waiting on, but that is an emergency, the roads were impassable, like, I agree we should've went further with, some contracts, but also, in an emergency, what the hell's a guy supposed to do? I mean, we need to get it done,
Absolutely.
you know?
And that's, I guess that's a question, maybe we need to reach out to the Blanche,
We've tried, it's,
just,
everyone's on hold right now,
okay,
you know,
okay.
with any of that stuff, funeral money, nothing, it's,
So that might be reimbursed at some point.
we hope. Yeah, and we were over the, is it $10,000 threshold or 15 that we had to do our own, yeah, it's a mess, we'll just put it that way.
Okay, alright. And then Sherry, evaluation and pay, so I think you've been doing an outstanding job thus far. I don't remember, do you know what we were paying Sam when she left?
She got 1,000 plus a 401k thing. There was something you paid in for her for 401k. So it equaled out to about 1,200 a month. If you're talking about her 401k, you paid into it and the 1,000 somewhere in there.
And then I think, me personally, I think you're worth it.
I think we need to review them too as far as hour wise, cause I've been hearing there's a lot more hours involved now
Well,
than back then, is that?
yeah, there is. She said it was 40 a month, but it's not 40 a month. But, if we go to the 12, I think we'll be okay there, you know, because I've been making probably about 11, 12 without taxes taken out, so I usually take home about $1,000. So then, if it was hourly and I was making that, it's just, I mean, I'm getting better at it, so I'm not spending as much.
Right.
The thing a lot of people don't realize is somebody's always coming to you for something.
Right.
All times.
Right.
Doesn't matter where you're at, it seems like somebody's right there. And I do jump and do this stuff.
So we're thinking more along the lines of say 1,200 plus 200 a month into a 401k? Bring the total benefit package to 1,400?
So what are we putting in for 401? No,
Nothing right now.
oh, there's nothing, okay. Yeah,
So is that just a match on the 401, or what are you going with?
Well, we've done it ever since Linda was on it, and we did it for Sam. We just, I don't even know the company, but we would just start a plan for Sherry, and then the city would put in whatever amount we decide on. That would bring her total, that'd be 1,400. So, I mean, roughly, this is gross, 1,400. Total package of 16,800 gross package with a 401k. And I'm pretty sure we were paying Sam 15,000 a year. So
I guess I didn't go back and really look totally.
I'd be good with that, but.
How many hours do you think you put in a month and you're just?
Anywhere from 60 to 65. One,
That's too far off then.
Huh?
I don't think it's, the 1,200 is too far off, honestly.
I mean, there's, if we have something that's taking a lot of my time, it's a little bit more.
That's about $20 an hour. I mean, 'cause it's more of a job than a $15 an hour job.
I agree.
Wanna make a motion on that, Jeffrey?
Sure, I'll make a motion.
Alright, second?
Second.
All in favor? Okay, does that work for you,
So
Sherry?
what was the bottom line?
So $1,200 will be your current monthly salary, and we'll start putting $200 a month into a 401k.
Okay. Yep.
And then, I'm not sure who we talked to about the 401k, because I've never seen that.
I'll go back to the same company
Okay.
we used before, because when I first came on board, we were paying, I know I had to pay it a couple times.
Okay,
We pay you at the same thing, don't we? I mean, it's 401k.
no, we pay him and then we pay his health insurance.
Oh, that's right.
Alright, anything else, Sherry?
That's it for me,
Okay.
other than the Starbucks.
Okay.
Oh, no, I have two things, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
Go.
I have the Storbex, and the only reason I have them on there is, maybe we should come up with some kind of plan where I know they said they can't, they're getting their money, and they're paying out whatever bill they can pay, but it's always leaving them a month behind. So they're getting late charges, and I don't know if we should I've twice now I've had to send him the shut-off notice, and last time he was very upset and said, go ahead and shut it off, but the only thing, I'm giving you what I can give you, and that's the $150 out of a $300 and something bill, so then that leaves him. He went this path before when I first came on, but the thing is, when you're constantly you're trying to do your job and you're sending him a shut-off, do we tell him he's gotta pay $20 more a month with that $150 he's paying? What do we tell him? He's not getting ahead at all.
I mean, you know, in the past, when people have been willing to work with us,
Right.
you know, we've been,
Yeah.
you know, as long as they're making an effort and they're not falling behind, they're never catching up, they're getting the late fees. I really wish he'd come in.
I've asked him twice to come.
Come to a council meeting and maybe we need to give him that ultimatum. Be like, either catch up or come talk to the council and explain the situation so we can understand.
Yeah, some sort of a plan.
Some sort of a plan.
See, we did that once before, and he hurried up and caught it up. And now we're back to there again, we're 3 or 4 months later. I have a few of them that do that, they'll wait till by the time it catches them for shut-off, you're owing almost 3 months. And I have a couple people that do that, they'll wait right down to when I send them that shut-off, and then they'll send it, but they'll pay late fees for 3 months. $75, you know, the 25, 25, and 25. But he says he can't pay it. So we tell him next time he's gotta be here, or I've written that to him already once, he's gotta come in or we're gonna have to shut it down.
The tricky part was, it sucks, I know, but how do you give someone an opportunity to have a payment plan out, and then the next guy doesn't get anything, you know? I mean, I don't have a problem with the payment plan if they're gonna work.
It made it quick, you know.
You know, show up and talk to us and let's try to figure the situation out, but,
It is what
You know.
we can.
Yeah, he's been invited here
if
for
you're
the
gonna,
last
if
2
you're gonna
months.
increase his bill by $20, then he's only gonna have a $5 late fee, well, he's still not going the right direction.
Well, you have the 25 and then you have the 1.5%. So usually when I send him out the shut-off thing, now this is what he's got left sitting there, by the time he pays that, he's gonna have another whole bill. So when I send the shut-off thing, it's for 300 and something. So he quickly pays the 150. So he's never getting, this bill that you're seeing that's left over there
Right.
is due on the 10th, but he won't make it till the beginning of next month.
So,
That's how it's been for the last 3 months.
I think we have to send him a letter stating, show up at the next council meeting.
To work out a payment plan.
And work on a payment plan and explain your situation and why you're not able to make these ends meet. And if you choose not to, if you're not 100% paid up by the next meeting, or by the next due date, we're gonna turn your water off. Because he's becoming, we put these in place to get rid of the habitual late payers. And this has been going on with them on and off for 15 months.
If we're late on our rural water payment, this is city.
Yeah. I know they turn my cell phone off if I don't make that payment, so. Okay,
Okay. Now, the other one is, there's a lady by the name of, and some of you might know her, paper there, David Black, that's David Black's.
Mary Conrad.
No. There's a lady named by
Sorry.
Jasmine Lee. She is related to Kinsler's. Now, the city owns the property right across the street from Storbeck's on that corner. That family would like to know if they could buy that house back for what the city paid for taxes. They'd like to fix it up for their family to come here.
that green one?
Yeah.
Fixable?
Is it fixable, Warren?
That green house up west of your place fixable? I mean, I know it's got new windows and new doors because of that community action, but I don't know about anything else.
They were here for some function and they went inside of it and they were sickened by the way it's, their grandmother's house is falling apart. So a few of them wanna buy it and fix it.
The problem.
And I told them the city already owns that, it was already,
So it went unpaid for X amount and then it ended up falling into the hands, and we can't just sell to a private party.
You'd have
We
to.
have to open it up to public bid.
okay?
And I think it'd be opened as a minimum bid.
Yeah.
And that includes all the mowing charges we got on it. So that drives the cost up.
But there's also gotta be some kinda, it has to be fixed up within a certain amount of days, or it's back to the city.
Right, there has to be a time limit.
Cause just cause they buy it and feel it now, I don't know, in 2 years from now, it could sit there and we'd be in the same boat.
It has
Yeah,
to be
go to the
livable
same
in this
thing.
amount of time, or it's gonna, and you
Then
have
the
to,
city will have to
you
pay
have
to
to
get
sign
back.
a contract that, you know, allow them to have the.
Yeah,
Get it
that
out,
is part,
condemn
so
it.
we're gonna open it up for auction.
I don't think it's.
But how does that gonna work? What if they don't get it?
Well, I
Right.
mean, that's what, I mean,
Right.
that's
What if they
a
don't want
distinct
it?
possibility.
And then we get somebody else in there, and I think we
You
have
have
to.
it.
What do you know?
That's what I see with the problem of putting that they have to have it fixed up by a certain time frame. How is the city gonna enforce that?
Yeah, that's
Once
impossible.
you sign the deed over to them, there's
Right.
nothing you can do anymore.
What about the past taxes, if she's a family member, why didn't they pay it? And
Well-
let it get this far.
Well, I
to begin
mean,
with.
that's almost moot though, because they didn't, and then,
Well,
I
that's what
mean,
I'm saying, now she wants to buy it back?
Well, I think
Well-
somebody else had bought it and then they let it go.
Oh, it's
Well,
not a
it
family
was,
member.
Midlighter, Jackie,
Midlighter, that Midlighter had.
cause she had to own it if they did community action to it.
I gotcha.
See, Vince Joyce Jr. bought it from Bruce Buck. And Bruce had it in nice shape. But he never transferred the deed. He never transferred the record. So Bruce was getting the taxes, paying the taxes. He worked for the postal service, he didn't wanna get a bad name. So he kept paying the taxes, and then finally, Bruce talked to an attorney, and the attorney said, don't pay it.
sure.
That's the best method, you know, it's not gonna fall back on you because he did a default, so to speak, under the circumstances, and that's what happened. He let it go for the 3 years, and then it went to taxes.
Might be great if someone bought it and fixed it up and maintained it, but
I
I
agree.
Is there an option, I mean, I don't know, if it was stated in whatever the bidding process is, that you were postponing the transfer of the deed until these things were met, like, it has to be livable before we actually sign the deed over to you. You know, you could have a purchase agreement signed legally.
I guess I can ask Isaac
And
that.
not only that, are they willing to incur the cost of monthly water bill, sewer bill?
And we
You might
don't,
have
and you could,
Specials on after,
and you could
next year.
postpone the payment from them until the deed's transferred, you know, as a sign of goodwill that, okay, if you're gonna fix this up, you don't have to, you get the bid, you got it for this bid, but you're not gonna pay for it until it's fixed to this date, and if it's not, then we're keeping it.
I'm in favor of just keeping it, tearing it down.
Yeah, cause she ordered me.
I don't know if it's real livable.
And I haven't-
That door's been
I mean,
for the
it's
last
just
2
opening
years.
a can.
Is it?
They would just like to purchase it for the amount of the back tax.
Well, that's tough, I mean, that,
Or by compensating the city
It goes
for
up
the
to
amount
bid,
paid to
but-
Logan County.
that, it would, so I just don't think we do it.
The basement is a hole, a glorified hole,
Mhm.
and the main level,
I mean, the only thing good on it is the
let it go
windows.
down the drain. It needs a lot of work.
Oh, it would need a lot of work.
I just
I
don't
would
see
imagine
them,
the squirrels and everything else are up in the.
and I don't want that to come back to the city, as we don't want new people in here, because that's what'll happen, but
No,
We
we
don't
don't
want
want to do it that way.
That's
We don't want the house.
That's where I was for
It's
sale.
a liability.
Well, she was just checking,
Okay.
if it might be feasible, if
just
not,
don't see if
I
specials
don't
go
think
on
there's a
that.
way to do it fair. I don't think we can do it.
then I'll just write her, I'll email her back and let her know that,
The city's, I would explain that the city would have to open it up
yeah,
for
that's
bid
why
for the
we're
public,
open
and
up
that,
bids.
based on the condition of the house,
We're not inclined to.
we're not inclined to let that property go.
Okay,
Okay. Mr.
yeah, that's it
Heflin,
for me.
nothing? Mr. High, what you got?
I got an update on the park down there, which is good. Sounds like Lauren is, and Bill are hitting it. So, I just didn't know anything. I mean, I didn't really try and find out what was going on either. I just saw that there was a hell of a project going down at the park, so it sounds like the goal is to try to get it done before winter, right?
Definitely wanna get the clay in.
Right.
If we don't get the black dirt, we get the clay.
Sure.
And I think what turned people off when they really, after the trees were gone, there was beautiful black dirt down there. It was about 4 feet deep. So we scarfed that black dirt out and moved it up to the swimming pool and covered, well, it was 4 to 5 inches thick up there. Plus there was a little bit left that we took up here to the theater cafe area. So those embankments looked about twice as high as they did previously. That really scared people, what we were doing.
Well, it sounds like it'll be
Yeah.
beautiful when it's done.
Yeah, and I think, so the current board president hasn't been very communicative, like, with the plan, but now that
Yeah,
Beth's
didn't
involved,
talk to
Beth
me
was
about
able to catch him up on things, so hopefully we'll have better line of communication and hopefully avoid this kind of stuff in the future, so.
So, since you're on the park board one, we paid the bill. We made a deal, the city with them, that we pay half and they pay half.
Mhm,
So I am to make them, I have a $10,000 bill I paid here.
mhm,
So they pay 5 and we pay 5.
Mhm.
So I need to send them a bill,
mhm.
okay?
Okay. Larry's gone. Mr. Lund,
No.
nothing. Alright, old business permit for Danny's Place for awning. Still working with, I don't know, Isaac on that, not his area of expertise. Really wish that would've happened a little faster. I don't, since he's not gonna have any, he's gonna have it supported to the ceiling, and so it's just gonna be an awning over the top. So there's no post touching the ground, so I think we just,
We go to Johnny B's, all they have is a couple of posts and some rope there beyond the tables, and that's in the city of Jamestown. I just don't see it being an issue
Right.
here anywhere.
so I just say we approve the building permit for him to put an awning. I mean, the Cricket Theater hung over, I
Yeah.
mean, there's gonna be any legal issues. Huh?
I'm good with that.
Okay, take a motion, you make
I'll
that?
make that motion.
Jeff, okay, Jeff. Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Alright.
Alright, so you can let Kevin know that he can move ahead with his awning.
Okay.
Talking to our engineering, the lift station, the mill levies we already took care of in our previous meeting. I believe Larry was able to get the no trespassing signs up, or did you do that?
I think Larry did it.
That's already
Okay.
done.
About that.
That's all old business you're reading.
City's attorney completing paperwork for Judge Meraz with Lauren about the Hofer bill, did that, fire department raffle was approved. So I guess we'll cover that. Okay, we covered Ryan Storbeck. Then we covered Greg Hills.
Yep.
Park board bill for Junkman, that's what we just talked about, right?
Mm-hmm, and the kid, yeah,
And property to buy,
Kinsler, and then thing for Danny's Place for the dumpster. He wanted to know if the city owns his dumpster or does he, because if so, that his dumpster is starting to get so holy at the bottom that,
it's starting to.
it's been holy at the bottom.
That thing is.
Doesn't hold water though, when it rains.
So if
Do you know if the
can
city
he
owns it?
switch it with one of the city
I
ones?
think that they're on the resident, because Miller Honey Farms bought their own dumpsters, now that's just Miller.
See, and he doesn't know because he's only been there 5 years or
I
whatever.
think it's, you own a dumpster, you buy the dumpster, then you pay the
To
service.
my knowledge, the business owners
Right.
own the dumpsters.
Okay,
The only dumpsters we own are the ones that were
We're
here.
here,
Right.
And
the ones that we rent out, we own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
so unfortunately.
Okay. Gotcha.
I have an email here from Paul Hammers. So, been working with Andrew Bartholomew, our sheriff, Paul Hammers, our municipal judge, and Isaac Zimmerman, who is our city attorney. And so, we reviewed the ordinances, and the ordinances are ironclad. So, he's having Isaac and Andrew write up. So Andrew's gonna first go and verify the chickens are still there, which I hear him every day, so obviously they are. And then they're gonna come up with a complaint. Isaac's gonna write up a complaint, and then Andrew will deliver that complaint, basically giving him a time frame to remove all chickens or a fine amount, and then we'll start fining him. And he will have, and if he requests to have court, then we would set up a time, let me say, set up a court for an evening in Gackle, any Wednesday after 5 works for him, and we would hold that here. So it would just be a meeting, and I'll follow up. I don't know that the council would need to be here. I do think it'd be nice to have a representative here to obviously represent our side of things. So that's in the works. So we're moving forward there.
It's good to hear that all of our ordinances are finally ironclad and we don't have to worry about them anymore. That was good to see that email.
Oh, that's right, and I copied you guys on all that, so you probably saw that already.
It was a bunch of time well spent.
So the only thing we didn't do during our reorganizational meeting, we're gonna have to do now, is elect a council president and a council vice president. And we did not do that.
Thanks, Lauren. It was always Lauren because he was the oldest guy.
So, does anyone have any desire to be the president of the board? Your only real obligation would be if the mayor cannot be attending, you would leave the meeting, basically. That's all that really does. You interested in being the president of the board?
I don't care.
Are you willing to be the vice president of the board? Okay.
Our new president?
You want to be the president, I'll be the vice?
Do I flip a coin?
Good.
What's the vice president duties?
If the mayor and the president are gone, you would leave the
Sounds
But
great.
then we probably wouldn't even have.
I was gonna say, you already have a meeting.
So it's just a title then.
It is, I mean, it's just a title.
So do I get a coat that says
No.
vice or?
I can get you a pin maybe.
Right.
You just want to be police commissioner.
I wanna be police commissioner. Police commissioner as well. I think that just got ring to it. It's scary, really.
It is kind of scary.
I don't care either way, I'm fine with
Do we
it.
need to make a motion?
Yeah.
I'll make a motion. What do you, president, vice president?
Who's president?
Jeffrey High, president. Taylor Lund, vice president. I make a motion.
Second.
I guess I'll say.
All in favor?
Alright.
Aye.
All right.
We could have nominated Larry, he's not even here, and then he can't even.
Yeah,
fight it.
we're right.
We just got a couple things, approve the bills. Anything on there crazy? Junk man and
I
son.
said that Junkman, Junkman,
That's
obviously.
Nino.
Nino.
He changed his name.
Oh, Lisa.
They changed their name.
I like,
Really?
I like Nino and Son.
I like Nino and son better.
Well, because I wrote them out a check and then I had to go rewrite out another one because that's not their name anymore.
Ah,
D-Wolf's backhoe, that 1100, what was that from?
That is actually, or if you look up on the top, you'll see Doug Hay curb stop. It's
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
be the same amount.
Oh, yep.
I took the money from him and I turned around and paid the bill from the city because it came to the city.
Ricky Nino was registered with the state as Junk Man and Son.
Really?
And he got in trouble because he was taking checks
Oh,
as Ricky Nino.
Ah.
And that's in violation of
Everything else on
License
here
plate
looks
holes.
pretty standard.
Yeah.
Everything is, and like the otter tail, sometimes you'll catch it, it'll catch 2 months on one thing, but they paid it, but they
Yeah.
pay it like on the first. Right after
Okay,
stuff comes out.
and then, so take a motion to approve bills,
I'll make a motion.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Before we set the date and time for next meeting, I have something to read. I, Jeff Reiser, am officially submitting my resignation as the mayor of Gackle. I hope the people of Gackle that can understand that as an elected official, our council and I accomplished many things. I realize I left many goals unfulfilled, but it was not without effort. I'm dealing with a current medical issue that makes it nearly impossible to serve the duty I swore to uphold. I have 100% faith in the council that was elected and supported me over the past few years to continue to push Gackle forward. I've appreciated the many calls of support and have understood the many calls that disagree with what the council decided as well. Healthy discussion is what built this country and this community. You can never please everyone, but I hope I did the job justice. God's blessings to all. This will be my last meeting. So.
Thank you for your service.
That being said, next meeting, Monday, October 5th, we're gonna
Do you wanna jump down to
jump
7?
down to 7, since we'll be past daylight savings time.
That'd be great.
That'd be great. Okay, October 5th, 2020, at 7 PM.
Sorry to,
Oh,
we have to accept your
oh,
resignation, correct?
that's, no, you're correct.
I just wanna make sure.
Yeah,
I
no,
got it
you're
right
correct.
here, so nothing.
So I guess I would take a motion to accept my resignation.
I move to accept Jeff's resignation as the mayor.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Take a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Right.